you've mentioned that you've tried other things in the past and then also like have looked into other things, but where would you at this point rank ATN compared to other ventures that you've tried in the past?
Doesn't compare.
Yeah, better than all
It
of them.
doesn't compare. Yeah, there's nothing that we've ever um, been able to get returns like this on anything close, honestly. I mean, annually 10%. And I've already surpassed that in the 2 months that we've been in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
Really, really cool.
that's amazing. So honestly, it's amazing.
Excellent, excellent. And so we'll just start from the top and just like tell me a little bit about yourselves. What are your professional backgrounds?
I don't know. Our mine is very mixed. I've kind of been all over the place. Recently, I've been doing sales, but I was a grocery buyer for a long, long time. I have a construction background as well. But lately, I've just been, trading stocks and doing sales, carrying them.
Yeah, I was have my master's degree in early childhood education. So I taught school for a little while, and then we started having our family and I wanted to be home with the kids. So kind of shifted gears, stayed at home for a while. And the last few years I got into real estate. And so I do a little bit of investing, and then I'm a realtor.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so you both have vast different experiences and credentials
Yes.
and all of that. So
Yeah, we're all over the place.
so Karen, my wife, she has her bachelor's in that in early childhood education. And
Yeah.
so did you teach for a while or?
I did. I taught for 6 years, and then I actually ran a large family daycare in our home while our kids were little. I did that for like 10 years too. Yeah, so
Okay.
crazy.
So that's her. Okay. All right. That's
Is
unbelievable.
that your wife?
Okay. So she got her the license to have
Mhm.
your in-home care facility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if logistically in our home it didn't work out as well to really do it. We kind of like took a step back a little bit. Also, we had our anyways, excuses, her
yeah.
excuses, right? um
It's hard.
It's tough. Yeah, it
but
is.
but yeah, like if you have a couple of pieces of insight for that, because that is still something that she is considering and would like
Yeah.
to do. You did it for a decade. What was your experience?
You know what? I absolutely loved it. It was an awesome way to be home with my kids. And
Yeah.
I ran it very much like a preschool because I taught kindergarten. And so I knew what kids needed to know when they entered kindergarten. So it was very structured. And I think that really, really helped keep the chaos. Excuse me, when you've got, 12 to 14 little ones of different ages with, 5 and under roughly,
Wow.
structured was always better. It helped in our house too that the house was set up really well for it. We had a breezeway that somebody before we bought it had enclosed. So it was this giant living room,
Yeah.
and it had a back door and it had a separate entrance to the front. So people didn't have to drop off and come through my entire house. It
Yeah.
was like this separate living space kind of.
Yeah.
So it was a really good layout so that we didn't feel like our entire home was being intruded upon, which I think
Yes.
that can be a lot,
Yeah.
right? So
That was what precluded us from doing it. We weren't like it wasn't
yes.
optimally set up as we would have liked. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's hard. And then hiring good help. Like if you have that many kids, you need an assistant. You just do.
Yeah.
So get a young, 18, 19, 20-year-old that loves kids and that you can hang out with during the day and teach them what to do. And then if you have to run out to take your kids to the doctor or something, you've got somebody there to back you up, right? That was super helpful too. Yeah.
wow. Great insights. I appreciate that, and I'll pass them along. That's excellent. Wow. And so now you're a real estate agent as well. And so what was
Yeah.
your overall, both of your overall motivation for, it seems like you're both entrepreneurial, outside of the box thinkers, perhaps like career shifters, and you guys adjust
Yeah.
where you see fit. What was the main motivation for having a stream of income that was working on your behalf?
I'll say,
Yeah.
So our daughter, I don't want to be too loud, but she's got some special needs.
Yeah.
And we just wanted more freedom to spend more quality time, while we have the chance. And so this for us, we could work another, 20 years or whatever and just keep working and just keep, staying in the rat race, right? And just grinding and grinding and grinding.
Until we're 80.
But I'm 50. We had our kids I feel like a little later. Our youngest is 13.
Yeah.
We have a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old as well, but mainly our youngest. We wanted a little more freedom to spend time with the kids and her in particular while we're young enough to enjoy and be able to do things. And we want to leave a legacy, an umbrella, a protection for her as we go.
We want to make sure she's cared for.
We want to make sure she's covered.
And her siblings have a way to.
Yeah. And so,
Right.
and we've been looking for a long time on, trying to figure out how to do that. And we saw some other opportunities before we saw ATN,
They just
within real estate and some other stuff. And we're doing some of that stuff, but, this just struck us, watching your stories and, I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing. It just felt right. And so that's what.
Yeah. Ultimately, we'd really like to go travel and just explore the world with the kids while they're still willing and wanting to go, and have that passive income coming in to support our bills. So looking at your sailboat right behind you is kind of a dream of ours.
Yeah,
and so we we want to get out and live life. Get out of the rat race, like he said.
Before
and
it's
just,
over. I want to live before I'm dead. I don't want to work. My father basically worked until he died, and so and he didn't really have, I feel like a lot of his life was stolen from his family because he was working so hard all the time, and so I just don't want to repeat that if I don't have to. But I get that I need to work and provide and all that, but it's just. If we can find a different way where we can spend more time with family, like that would be, and helping family as well is another thing.
Good working hard. We just want to be able to have some freedom in schedules and things like that. And we just kind of want to take our 13-year-old on an adventure and let her see the world a little bit and live a little differently, and then show the older two that there's a different way to do things. You don't have to grind it out 8 to 5.
Yeah, working
24/7.
Make somebody else wealthy, right?
Yeah. Those bits of guidance are extremely important. I mean, my parents, specifically my mom, she was very instrumental in giving that understanding of like, yes, you do need some formal education, but and she's a PhD, earned PhD, but she understood as well. You don't want to pick up a lot of student debt, if any at all. You don't want to be in a career that's like, like the trajectory is going down. You want to look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and all of those type of things. But and then also she's the one who encouraged me to start looking into finances. That was almost 9 years ago. And I was just like, I know finances, I understand this, but I really had no idea. All of the different strategies, all of the different ways that you can earn or build generational wealth. And so that was a big motivation for me. So you as the parents have an important position, which I know you already have. You have a 21 and a 19 and also your 13-year-old. And so I just encourage you to continue to do that, to give them that insight of thinking outside of the box and not just going like here's the American dream and this is how you accomplish it. Because that is it's kind of a far cry from where we're at in reality right now.
It is.
That's the month to month living, right?
We don't want to teach
your money on your expenses.
We want to pass on that different mindset. Let's make money, but let's help your money make money for you, right? And do it while passively, or buy in assets and not liabilities and things like that. But we just want them. We don't want to hand them a boatload of cash.
Either.
We want them to be able to build that for their families in the futures as well. And so we want to teach them as we go, and so.
Yeah. The one word that I've been able to equate in this process that I find very important is sustainability.
Yes.
So when you have, education, or you have insights, that provides a level of, I guess, wisdom, or just understanding, and
Mhm.
then and that, understanding should be sustainable. But then you use that, that knowledge and understanding, and that's, applied knowledge is wisdom for the
Right.
most part. And so, you use that in order to create financial sustainability, and that's, I think, will help everyone live the life that they actually want. But for you all, what did you actually try before in trying to make passive income, and have things work for you?
We've done a few things. We had an Airbnb, which not very passive. Which the idea was that it would be passive, but it's not been passive, and so we're actually we're selling that because it's just not. It's more of an ass or a liability than anything else.
Yeah.
What do you think? So we just figured,
Yeah, it's not really I don't know, the right thing for us at this time. I think down the road, I think having more real estate is
on our list,
on our
but
list.
a little bit more down the road.
Yeah,
I
We've
understand.
done a little bit of, yeah.
private money lending for real estate deals and flips and stuff like that. We're in one right now with I don't know if you've heard of Jerry Norton, but loaned him some money on he does a lot of
There's a lot of flipping.
flipping type stuff, and but so we've got some money out on that, but the return is just it's not that great, and it's long. It takes a long time to get your money back. So we're trying to
We've seen better results so far than
already.
the months
Yeah,
we've been
absolutely.
in ATN, which
Yeah.
is super awesome.
Yeah.
According to Julio, our results are not that great, but
So we said we're going to be really.
but so if we're happy with what we've got so far, he said we're going to be really happy, when it actually does
Yeah.
produce. But
Yeah, those are the things, right? Month to month is great, to look at it, and that's a benchmark. But really, we kind of tend to have a longer time horizon, quarter to quarter, maybe even a year over year.
Mhm.
Again, for the conservative way that results have gone, it looks like 40% year over year, but 60% and more has been more of the average. And so that's something that we shoot for. And of course, past results don't dictate future results, but those are the things that we've come to know and be grateful for. And so how did you guys actually hear about us? Was there like an ad or a video, something that stuck out to you?
I think I think it was I think it was Instagram that I first saw you, and you guys started popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and
You
we
know how
watched a bunch of YouTube.
the algorithm
and-
works. I saw you, I watched it, and then like YouTube, like I started seeing you on YouTube, and then of course I subscribed and started watching a bunch of the videos on YouTube. But there's other you have competitors out there obviously trying to do similar things. We actually were looking at one before, actually a couple. One of them turned us off really bad in the beginning, and it was more of
I think it was a real estate.
it was a real estate type of thing.
investment.
But and then there's another one. I don't want to say the name, but SGLP I think is
I don't know.
Sovereign Guild or something like that. They do something similar in Forex, but it wasn't right for us, and so yeah, I can't remember all the names of all the different ones.
I don't
But there's
know.
a number of
We've
them out
looked at a
there
lot of stuff.
nowadays.
Yeah.
It's been a little while since I stopped looking.
Yeah.
When I found you guys, I was like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
He watched a little bit, and then he's like, "Babe, you got to check this out. You come
So I
watch some of
started-
these videos." And so we were like, at night, instead of watching TV, we were just watching your YouTube testimony.
Wow.
listening to people, and yeah.
Yeah.
What were
So-
some of the things that, like, you mentioned that the real estate company turned you off in the beginning, and the other company well, the other companies plural that you looked at just didn't match, and there was something about what we were doing and showcasing that stood out a little bit more. What were some of the, like, kind of differences in that?
We were a number everywhere else. The personal attention, like that you and your team give, was it was really cool to me to see. I guess some of it was just like talking about numbers, whereas you were talking about making sure, the capital preservation and some of the things like that, like making sure, it's great to get 20%, and they could show, these amazing numbers, but what, I've heard stories about massive losses and so just, I felt like you guys were safer. You were being responsible, and looking after, and so
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you with, our
Yeah.
money.
I think
I
honest
appreciate
and
it.
transparent too.
Yeah.
You guys were
Yeah.
transparent. You're not out there saying there's no losses at all, because sometimes there
Yeah.
are losses. That's the reality of investing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a level of caring about people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, not a number. We feel like you guys are involved and you actually care and you want everyone to do well. You want to be a good steward of our money. And
Well,
I like talking to your brother. Your brother David was a good guy too. I liked him a lot.
that's coming. I was going to ask about that. Steward, though, that's a key word. Are you guys believers by chance?
We are. We are, absolutely. Yes.
And that's always my prayer, because you guys know I'm not the trader. The team, Julio is not a trader. John, David is not a trader. We connect you to those teams.
Yep.
And so my prayer, anytime, really almost every day, it's like, Lord, these are your people, because almost 80+% of the clients are, Christians and practice the faith.
that's cool.
And so that's my prayer. I'm like, Lord, these are your people. So
it's interesting. That's what's attracted, right? Like, I feel like when we prayed about the other ones, it wasn't a good fit. It wasn't there. We didn't feel it, right? Yeah. And so,
right. Yeah.
So that's interesting. You say 80%. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Probably more. And so how about the setup, right? You mentioned David and he was helpful for you. How was that setup process?
That was easy. It was very simple. I don't think you've had any trouble at all. I mean, it was simple. It was quick, easy. They recommended after I got set up that I do a withdrawal so that I see the full circle, you know what I mean? And I watched some videos where some of them were like, I haven't done it yet, and or taking money out, so they didn't have that confidence that the money could come back, right? Yeah. And so I did it. It took a day, had the money back in the account, and it was so I didn't have to question it anymore, right? Even if I wasn't questioning it, I still don't have to question it because I actually did it. Yeah. But the setup was simple. I haven't had to do anything. I find myself looking at it probably more than I should, but
it's not very passive for him. He looks at it all the time.
I look at it a lot. But I'm interested. I'm hopeful, and I just want to see how it's doing, and I want to understand it as best I can too. So
it's a passive investment, but you're actively monitoring.
I just do.
Enjoys it.
I'm at my desk anyway. I'm looking at stocks and stuff like that. So I just take a look at it. See, and I have I made a spreadsheet, and so I track some stuff and
he's just a spreadsheet nerd.
Yeah. Excel warrior.
So that's fun for me. Yeah.
What about ongoing communication? That's like, something that we feel like is very important as well. So I know the onboarding was smooth and getting everything set up. You guys understand exactly how to monitor, how to check things, how to make withdrawals, more, a very important thing. How about ongoing communication as far as, Slack or Telegram or those pieces?
It's been good. Everything, I haven't had a lot of questions, honestly, because everything's, kind of just panning out kind of how I expected, but I reached out. I was having trouble logging into my PAM. They just were down or something for a little while one day, and then it came back up. So, but I sent something over on Slack, and I got a couple of responses, and because it basically came up quicker than I thought. I took a while before I sent something in Slack,
right? And
because I was like, it's coming back. And then I send the Slack, and then boom, it's up, and then so I'm like, oh, we're all good, and everybody's like, oh yeah, So it's been good. Everybody's been responsive. Absolutely, yeah. You're there, and that is comforting. We know that you're there. So somebody's monitoring, and it's good.
I mean, that's a big part of what it is. I mean, we're relationship managers, and so we understand that the traders are hard at work doing what they do. And so like the very least we can do is be responsive and attentive to make sure that you've got, questions answered that we can answer and address and things like that. So that's great. That's what you're experiencing. And so
Yeah.
for what you've seen to this point, like, so you got your onboarding call, you got your portfolio chosen. How quickly after that happened did you actually start seeing your account, making passive income?
It was pretty quick. Yeah, it was within after it was funded, I think it was like the next day or the day after that. I think it was the next day we started seeing some.
Quick in Gamma.
Yeah, gammas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started coming through. Yeah, it was very quick. It was like within days or whatever. So, yeah, it was good.
With kind of a small amount just to kind of, dabble for a second, if you will.
Yeah. We were in the process of moving money at that time. So we we threw a little bit in there and then after it was like a week or two, I think we added some more. But, and we've put in we've add more, from time to time. And I know we're going to be adding more. It's just a matter of some investments coming back to us and things like that.
But it's good to see it growing.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, every dollar counts. Every percentage point counts. So,
Yeah.
so speaking of that, what in the last 30 days, how much has your account actually generated? Like what's the percentage for the last 30 days?
So it's the last month was just over 7.44% growth. The first month was less, but that was, we had less in it and it was kind of, getting into it, right? So the first month,
the second month was
the second month was just almost 8%. 7.44 was the actual growth of our total account in the second month. So,
and he knows because of his awesome spreadsheet.
Yeah.
7.44321.
That's right. I mean,
he's got it.
It's right there. I can see it. So,
It's so funny. No, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So, you've mentioned that you've tried other things in the past and then also like have looked into other things, but where would you at this point rank ATN compared to other ventures that you've tried in the past?
It doesn't compare.
Yeah, better than all of
It
them.
doesn't compare. Yeah, there's nothing that we've ever been able to get returns like this on anything close, honestly. I mean, annually 10%. And I've already surpassed that in the 2 months that we've been in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
Really, really cool.
that's amazing. So honestly, it's amazing.
And how passive? I know you're actively like we talked about.
Yeah, no, I don't have to do it. The worst thing, the most I have to do is, add more money to it or, or look at it because I'm, just like compulsive like that. There's nothing I have to do. You don't have
It's
to
just
do
making
anything.
money and
It's just making money.
doing
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I just appreciate that it's making money and I love to see it. So
Yeah.
And so my last question, and I appreciate the feedback. This is helpful. There's people that have had experiences in the past that were not up to their expectations or completely burned them. Actually, I've had that in the past as well. I've tried a bunch of e-commerce stuff and, lost over 6 figures. I tried Airbnb myself. I tried trucking and all those things. But there's a lot of, maybe half of our clients that have tried other things and they just have not worked out at all like they expected. For those specific people, and they do have risk capital that's still in a bank or in somewhere that's, earning very, very modestly, and they do have the desire to have passive income or see their capital grow a little bit faster, what would you maybe say to those people that are skeptical because they've been burned and maybe a little bit afraid to pull a trigger?
Say if you have money in the bank, you're losing. So you're losing a lot. I would say
just try
I know what I did, and I would do this again in a heartbeat. We have more money coming back to us from some of our private money lending accounts and stuff like that. And once those come back, once those term out, we're going to be putting them into ATN. So, and that's.
I would tell people if they need to feel comfortable first, put a portion of it and see what it does.
Yeah, I mean,
and then when you see that value,
Yeah, and then take your money out. Like that, like we did, and so you can see it come back to you, and then
but
get some comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to get crazy and put, a ton of money in there and risk it all. If you want to just put a little bit in,
See what it
take some
does.
out to make sure it can come back to you and then let a little bit grow and then you'll get the confidence because it happens.
Yeah.
So it's daily.
Yeah. You're
It
losing
keeps
with it in the
coming.
bank.
Yeah,
So
you're just losing money if it's sitting in the bank. So I would do it 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's helpful, again, some people just, have had traumatic experiences. This is a virtual relationship. You're not able to do some of the traditional things that you would, but honestly, those situations still sometimes turn out not great for people. So
Sure.
yeah.
we are in a trust recession right now, and I know that that's a big part for you guys, even though we had not like actually met were able to get a sense of who I was and what I stood for before we were able to
Yeah.
meet for you to feel comfortable in working with us. So very excited that to this point we are on the right track, and really looking forward to the next things. And one of the things that we are going to be announcing in the next few days is actually going to be our client event. So we're going to be getting that, on the books for October. So we're going to have a, announcement and all that type of stuff. But that's something that we're very, very excited for. Anytime we have the opportunity to get everyone, or well, it's not going to be everyone, but it'll be maybe 20% of our clients, that'll be there, and we'll be really excited to just have fun and network and fellowship and have a great time. So that's something that I wanted to let you all know.
Awesome.
Yeah, we look forward to that, honestly. I've
Yeah.
I've seen some of the stuff from, past ones or whatever, but yeah, so
Yeah. Is that in Arizona or where do you do
Yeah,
that
we're
at?
gonna do it in Arizona. So the first few we're gonna keep in Arizona, then we'll branch out and maybe we'll be in Idaho or something like that. But for right
Sounds
now,
good.
we go to Arizona.
yeah,
We like Arizona.
yeah,
Yeah.
in October, not in July, right? So
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to visit you in the next couple months. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
you try to visit me here, I won't be here.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
other
I
places.
I I grew up going to Havasu in the summers. My aunt and uncle lived in Lake
Yeah.
Havasu City, so
Nice.
it's nice there because you got water.
You just live in the water. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the spring break location for Arizona State.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's where I graduated. Yeah, so that I've been to Havasu before. That's a good time. But that being said, I just really appreciate you both for taking the time to give the feedback. It's extremely helpful for us to know again that we're on the right track, and more importantly, being able to deliver results that you are looking for. And so we're happy to continue to do it. This call doesn't pause anything or what have you, and that we'll continue to deliver on what we said. And if there's a situation like you already know, how to reach us. If ever there's anything, just reach us when you have something, and we'll get that taken care of fast and in a hurry.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
I feel like I have that confidence, so yeah, I'll reach out if something comes up, but I don't know.
Yeah. We're doing awesome.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're feeling good about it, and so yeah.
Yeah. It's a
So
pleasure to meet
thank
you.
Yeah, 100%. Great to meet you both as well, and look for that announcement. And we'll be seeing you soon.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, enjoy your day.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
So every 30 days, I talk one-on-one with my clients, and that was their experience. If you want to learn more on how we help our clients earn 60% or more per year, then click the link in the description below.